Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Programming in Access 2013. I'm your host, Steve Bishop, and we're going to be continuing with some of our database elements in the background of our application. And today we're going to be actually tying in our customers with our employees. And I haven't done any extra development outside of what you've already seen, because I want to go through this process one more time to go kind of tie everything together. And okay, so we're going to try to put together customers and employees. Now let's think about the relationship that our customers might have with our employees. First of all, how it's very likely that we would have more than one employee interacting with a customer, because obviously you can have sales managers, you can have service technicians, for example, or account managers. So you could have a variety of different types of your employees that would be contacting the customer for various different reasons, and we would want to assign that, all of those employees to that customer, not just one. So how do we kind of keep track of this? Well, the first thing that we probably want to do is give our employees some sort of title. Okay, and we could easily just go ahead and go here and add a title name to this particular section. And if I just went and I said title, well, that's perfectly fine that I could go in here and I could say VP of Relations, whatever that means. Right? I'm probably not the best person for that job. As a matter of fact, because I'm not the right person for that, let's make Jane here the president of Relations. Oops. Boy, if I could type fast here. Okay. So she's our president of Relations. I'm the VP of Relations. And what we're going to do is, if we do it that way, there can be a problem, because let's say I'm a sales rep and she is an account manager. Well, okay, so later on, somewhere down the line, I get a promotion and somebody goes into my title and says, I'm actually the account manager. Okay. Are you starting to see a problem here? One is called account manager, one is account manager, right? And there's no uniformity here. And that's one of the other beauties about storing specific types in another table and then relating that information back to the title, because now we can standardize what this title is. So let's go ahead and we're going to create, remember the Create tab, Table Design, making a new table here. We're just going to make an ID field with an auto number, and we're going to say it's primary key, and it is employee type. Okay? And short text, let's make it so that nobody's title can be more than, I don't think anybody's going to ever go 50 characters. All right, so we're going to save that table as table 2 employee types. All right, that's done. Now we need to go back into it, and we need to actually give them some types here. So we have sales representative and account manager. All right. And if we wanted to, we could give, like a base salary or something like that. I'm not going to get into that right now, but if you wanted to add more things, more descriptive, and this can be expanded. I mean, if you want to give them base wage or hours required to work, or whatever you wanted to do, you could start adding it here, or you could add those requirements to yet another table and then associate those. However you want to do that, however you want to arrange that type of data is entirely up to you, and that's one of the great things about database development, is you can figure out for yourself how you want to arrange the data. So I've got my employee types, and rather than a title, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. I'm just going to go into the design view, and I'm going to change this. Remember, I just want to show you this real quick. If I try to change this, so employee type, and I go over here and I try to change it to a number, I should get, yep, there we go. Some data may be lost. The size of one or more fields has been changed to a shorter size. If data is lost, validation rules may be violated as a result. Do you want to continue anyway? No. And the reason why this is happening is because remember how initially this was a short text. So this is containing text, right? Because we had it as VP. Let's see, what did we have here? If I can get it back up. There we go. Account manager and account manager. So these are text fields. They're not a number field. So if I try to go here and change the data type to a number, we're going to get an error when we try to save the table because the data is not going to match up. It can't use a text in order to create a number. So, no, I don't want to do that. What I instead want to do is, I'll go ahead and change this back to this. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And it's going to say, are you sure you want to delete the fields? Yes, I do. Now I can say employee type and give it a number. All right. Now I can open up the table and I can say I am a sales representative, which if I remember correctly was employee type 1. She is an account manager, so that's 2. And there we go. There's our relationship that we have set up. Okay? Now, how are we going to tie our employees to our customers? Well, let's do a many-to-many relationship because, like I said, we could have any variety of combination of how our employees interact with our customers. And I don't need to create a special ID field. I'm going to go with, let's see, employee underscore ID and customer ID. Change both of these to number. Make both of them the primary key. Remember, I highlight both fields, hit the primary key, and there we go. I'm going to name it table 3 let's see, customer. Well, you know what? Let's do it. Employees underscore customers. All right. Okay. So now we've got our table built here. Let's fill it up with some data. Employee number 1 is assigned to customer 1. Employee number 2 is assigned to customer 2. Employee 1 is assigned to customer 2. All right. So customer 2 is going to have both of us as employees. All right. And there you go. Now you have an established relationship between the employees and customers. Okay. And the employee now has a title rather than a text box that's been added to the employees table. We just assign it an employee type, which makes this a very manageable thing. We can add or remove as many employee types as we want. If we change our sales representative to actually be sales rep instead, we could certainly do that, and that will universally change for everybody that has an ID 1. Just by making that one change, we've now changed the type of employee we have for everybody who has that ID. That's really nifty. All right, let's move on to the next video.